Four hosts, they bout to wreck shit like Marco. Addicted to the Giants like it's Netflix and Narcos. The CEO making big moves as per usual. Captain Negative calling everybody delusional. This podcast is number one. Like when you take a piss, so share the link and pass it. Like Benjamin making spliffs and Mr. Make-A-Wish, the sophisticated click. I spit offensive lines, now Tim can take a sip of some beer because he likes the taste of it, right? Don't forget the New York Giants beat the Patriots twice. The sickest dudes, eating chips and salsa like it's Victor Cruz. Win or lose, always gonna root for Big Blue. It's true. This a classic show. Tyree, catch it, bro. Play a drinking game while you listen and call it Plaxico. Take a couple shots. If it's funny, you can rewind. To bleed blue means it's in their jeans like Levi's. Eli, man in the shit, just like a sailor. Captain, we attack and bum rush like Lawrence Taylor. Podcast on point, the sharpest arrows. BBG stay gritty like Mark Bavaro.
Going up right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Marco. You are listening to the Bleedbigblue podcast. I have Justin all the way from Pennsylvania, calling in, videoing, whatever we're doing. Today, do a little different. I'll try to take calls. Let's see until that explodes. I have voicemails ready to go too. So if that blows up, still got a little in the tank. Justin, what's going on, my friend? How you feeling?
Feeling so ecstatic right now.
It's a weird feeling. I'll tell you.
It is a weird feeling. It's not like anything that we've experienced recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when's the last time that everybody wanted to talk about the Giants? When's the last time the Giants were a national conversation where people were like, this team is trending in the right direction?
Right.
I mean, to me, the last time obviously was, when we were in the middle of our playoff runs, but obviously we're not quite there yet, but I mean, this defense has an old school feel to it.
Right. Yeah, I hear you with that. I hear you. It's so difficult because, the start of the season is just so bad, and the last four have been so good. I don't know.
Right.
I'm just hoping that we're not building for a huge letdown. Arizona. Then we go, I think it's right after that is Baltimore, correct? And then
No. So the week after next got flexed to Sunday Night Football.
That's right. It's the Browns, excuse me.
They took the Cowboys and 49ers off of Sunday Night Football to flex in Giants Browns without Odell Beckham Jr.
Right.
I mean, 2020 in a nutshell, my friend.
Right. And then we have the Odell, resurfacing on a week that he's not playing on an injury, reminiscing.
He just has to feel relevant.
Correct.
He can't ever let us have our moment.
So for the people that are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, throw it in the comments. I have everything going over here. Let me know what you're feeling. I could get to some voicemails now. Let's see how that goes. Hold on. Should we do that?
Bruh.
You're right.
Daniel Jones is magic with his legs.
I think it's you heard that?
Yeah, that's Mark. Is that Jimmy?
No, that's on WFEN. Hold on, what's his name?
Daniel Jones is magic with his legs.
That's the guy that was on Simmons this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Tim is working now because I have
Kibber! Hey, whoever's got that, turn that off.
Joe Judge.
Just turn that off.
I love that.
That was the best part of the conference. Hold on, where is it?
I also love while we talk about, I love a lot of things about Joe Judge. I would, if I wasn't married to my wife, I would marry Joe Judge.
Look at you.
But
no, it's not Craig Carton. It's
what I love most about Joe Judge is his ability to verbally undress any referee at any point in time. If he feels the Giants are slighted in any way, mask is coming off, F-bombs coming out, even with the camera on, doesn't care.
All right,
Joe Judge is the toughest guy in the room.
Let's see. All right, here's a voicemail. Ready?
Just when I thought you couldn't get
Can you hear it?
lower,
Yeah.
and then you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself. Nick San Diego.
I can't hear it. You
Is that from
That was Nick in San Diego, but you were able to hear that, huh? I wasn't able to hear it.
yeah, it was the clip from Dumb and Dumber that we talked about last week.
Yeah, he basically said that. Wonder why. Hold on, let's try. Of course, Dean calls in.
How about the New York football Giants?
Oh, I know why.
Is that Dean?
Yeah.
Just start off by saying I myself was skeptical about this game against Seattle for the simple fact of no Daniel Jones. We got Colt McCoy coming in who hasn't won a start since, I believe, 2014. You know, we've been lackadaisical, but man, did Wayne Gallman come out to play, and he's been on fire lately as well. Our defense, Leonard Williams, he was just all over the field. I mean, you got to give it to him. The Giants.
Is that a voicemail or is he with us live?
No, that's a voicemail. Hold on, we got Mike, Big Mike. Hold on.
Hey, big win for the Giants as a whole. Colt McCoy did just enough to manage the game. First half play calling was suspect at first, but they made adjustments in the second half. Not bad at all. Evan Ingram, of course, when Evan Ingram gifted an interception.
I can't wait to
Two
talk
hands
about
on the
it.
ball and then not catching it. I mean, it wasn't like he was catching Brett Favre's fastball or something. Our identity is definitely looking better, looking like a real team now. Power running team, Defense looks like it needs a couple of positions filled here and there with better players, but that comes in time. All in all, man, hell of a win for the Giants. And look forward to, the Cardinals this week. Later.
All right. Let's see what this one. Misha.
Hey, this is Misha. I've been waiting for you all day. I was just trying to see what was going on. Give me a call back and let me know something. Bye.
See,
Nice.
This is what happens when you put your phone number out on the internet.
Wrong number.
Okay, Nisha. Should we try to have people call in? Should we attempt?
Let's attempt.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to set it up now. Ready? Let's see how this goes. All right, I think we're going.
I'm excited to hear from the Giants fans. While we're waiting for a call, I'll start us off and I'll just say, like I was telling you, I rewatched the game in a 35-minute format earlier this afternoon. And when you watch it in a condensed format, it became even more obvious that wasn't a fluky win. We were the better team. We imposed our will. And the defense had Russell Wilson so flustered
Go ahead.
that he didn't know what to do with the football. He was throwing screen passes instead of taking sacks that were losing -6 yards. You know, he was running around on 4th and 1 and throwing a bullet pass when he probably could have beat Carter Coughlin to the corner. Our defense is so frustrating to go against because they're so multiple and they disguise things so well that by the fourth quarter, there's pressure to get it all back in one play, and bad things happen. You know, I wouldn't want to play against this Giants defense next week.
No, I wouldn't either. But this is I feel like it's Dean. I'm trying to load it up now. I see people in the comments say we're on the phone. I feel like the next few weeks, I really don't consider Baker that much of a threat, but I'm worried about Kyler Murray and I'm worried about
Think about this.
Jackson.
Think about this. I'm
Just
not
a little
afraid
bit.
to say.
Just a little bit.
I'm not afraid to say this, but think about this.
Mm-hmm.
When this season started,
Yeah.
and now Kansas City Chief DeAndre Baker
Mm-hmm.
did his whole thing and got cut from the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sam Beal opted out. The narrative around Giants Nation was that the Giants secondary was weak and was going to be such a liability. And
Correct.
you want to know how much of a strength that secondary is now?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Our second round pick that was guaranteed to be a starter before he broke his foot in the preseason only played 6 snaps because they don't want to mess with what they have on the field.
You know, I didn't even like put in his stats. Check out anything. Oh, what's up, Will?
There he is. There he is.
Will, can you two converse? I'm gonna try to figure something
The
out.
man, the myth, the legend.
What are you trying to figure out? How you can get tickets to the Super Bowl to see the Giants this year?
No, what we're trying to figure out right now is we're just blown away by the fact that X-Man McKinney can't get on the field.
It's interesting. I don't mind it. And the question is it in any way that he's having any kind of trouble picking up defenses, or is it strict? Is someone doing really, really well, and with Logan Ryan, they feel like they don't have to, or is it just strictly precautionary and like, hey, I think it's probably things are going fine.
Exactly.
He's coming off an injury. He's a rookie. It's a lot to take in as it is.
That's right.
But it's interesting, though, if he never got hurt and they never signed Ryan, you'd think, and they had a regular preseason, you'd think he'd be the day one starter.
Yeah.
But it is what he gets 6 snaps, like 2 weeks in a row, right? Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have Isaac Yiadom.
Is that how it is? Yiadom?
Who
Yiadom.
is playing better each and every week. Like, there's marked improvement.
Where is he even from? I don't remember hearing his name until a couple weeks in, really.
So, he was a 3rd-round draft pick of the Denver Broncos last season. Didn't pan out, and the GM of the year, Dave Gettleman, brought him in for a 7th-round pick.
So this is his 2nd year in the league?
2nd year in the league.
So he got traded after 1 season?
Yeah, the Broncos were like, we're out. And Dave Gettleman was like, yep, we got you.
We'll pick him up. Yeah. We got him. I mean, you guys are already up to that. I guess I missed the whole discussion about that beating the Seahawks. I don't know.
No, we
I just lost you.
We were trying to figure out how to take callers, and I don't know what happened to Marco. I think he might have left the building.
I think he went to bed. I think it's just all too much.
I was feeling he might be overstimulated.
Yes, I
There
hear
he
you.
is
I hear
back.
you. I'm
There he
trying.
is.
I'm trying to.
He's on mute.
I'm trying to do it. It's not working out. But I think I
We
have.
can't hear you.
You can't.
We can't hear you.
I can hear
Oh
Marco.
my lord.
I can hear everybody.
Marco's frozen.
Marco, say something.
Justin, I'm right here.
I can hear you. There's a little bit of a delay.
Justin, delay.
I got
Justin,
nothing.
Justin, you hear me?
I hear
Justin.
Will. I do not hear Marco.
All right. I hear both of you. And Marco's saying some
Okay.
pretty bad things about you right now, Justin.
There you
I gotta
go.
Tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect nothing less.
This is
What do you
This
want
is
to do?
true.
You want to bounce us off and bring us back on?
yeah. Justin, log out and log back in. See if that helps.
I just took Justin's spot.
Let me.
All right. So what's up? What's up, Will? How are you? How have you been?
It's been an interesting few days.
It has. It has.
How are you doing, Marco?
I am taking it all in. I am not used to the Giants actually being seen in a positive light for the past 6 years.
Except for when I've done like a media blackout because I just can't stand anything. You know, it's all bad pretty much about the Giants and how bad they've been. For the first time, like I used to do after they would win like playoff games or a Super Bowl, I would tape like all the ESPN shows the next day and then just watch people talk about the Giants in a positive light.
Yeah.
So I did that for the first time all year on Monday, expecting everyone to be praising the Giants. And a lot of the people on ESPN were still like, look, they're still not a good team. It was a fluke. Seattle's heading in a wrong direction. You know, they're the best of the bad teams, but they're not really going anywhere and blah, blah, blah. And like all this stuff. And I'm like, you know, give me something. Give me one day of feeling decent. But how you feeling? What do you take about the whole thing, man?
I want to go all in and like get into it and say we're gonna run the table or something like that, or we're gonna win 3 out of the next 4. But I think we have some tough teams. It's getting me nervous that seeing people are jumping on the bandwagon. Even myself.
All right, let's do a little check here, see how we're doing.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, we're in.
Can everyone now hear?
Yeah, I got you.
Now, this weird thing happens when you guys both sign on that when you go to talk, I hear like it sounds like you're purring like a cat. Say something else.
Hello.
All right, we're good now.
All right. So, yes, as I was saying, even myself, if I'm jumping onto the bandwagon, hello, everyone in the chat. Dean, I'll get you. Just calm down. I'll get there. I'm afraid that I'm letting myself up for a letdown. And we're not there yet. We're still in a rebuild. There's some things that I still don't like about the team. And it has me worried. We can be exposed. Our best win was without Daniel Jones. So
that's true. And I mean, I would say this though, Marco. I would allow yourself. You should feel better right now than you have felt about this team since Dave Gettleman took over. I think that's fair. Of course, there's going to be holes. Of course, they're not perfect. Of course, they're not actually, if you will, a playoff team. Even if they are to make the playoffs, and there's still a few weeks to go in the season, but they are playing at I rewatched the game, did a little film work. Even though Seattle's defense is one of the worst in football, the offensive line had its best game probably as a unit. They have been playing better lately. The best thing was that the defense held the third highest scoring offense in football to 10 points on offense. They averaged 31, and I think maybe even more than that per game at home. So that was pretty incredible that they did that, and that's something, when you look at every category now, the defense is right around 9, 10, 11 when it comes to yards per game, points per game, yards per play, which I kind of like because it takes out of, it takes out of the scenario what your offense does or time of possession. And their offense still is right around 30, 31 in every single category. So I think defensively we should be feeling as good as we felt about anything. Yeah, the Seahawks were kind of vulnerable and trending down, but it's still a big win on the road. It's probably the second big win that the Giants have had in the Gettleman era, in my opinion. The first one being Jones's first game against Tampa Bay last year.
That was a great day.
That was a great day. But yeah, I would say that as dominant as the O-line looked, Seattle, we think of, oh my God, and it was against Seattle. Their defense is really bad. It's hard to fathom. So maybe grain of salt, but still playing better. Andrew Thomas was ranked. He was the PFF's highest rated tackle in all of football this week, not just for rookies, in all of football. And he was very good. But I thought Jason Garrett did a really good job with Colt McCoy. And I thought Colt McCoy did a really good job. Like he did pretty much what they asked him to do. I know it's like his numbers are so small, but he was pretty accurate. He had a couple of he had a touchdown pass, a 2-point conversion. He kind of did what he had to do. The only thing I hated was when Jason Garrett decides to throw a deep fade to Sterling Shepard on that third down toward the end of the game.
A run takes 40 seconds off the clock there.
Even if you're gonna throw the ball, you just don't throw a deep fade to Sterling Shepard to 5'9.5", whatever Sterling Shepard. But the weird thing is that Jones wasn't there, and it's almost like, wasn't the game, guys, so much less nerve-wracking in a way because you weren't like analyzing every single throw and every decision and is he gonna fumble and hold the ball? I was just like, whatever happens, happens.
It was so interesting because I felt like they ran the ball for the first 3 quarters of the game to be able to effectively run play action with Colt McCoy in the fourth quarter.
They can't do that with Jones.
They had 2 effective play action passes that went for first downs that they spent the entire game setting up, and in the fourth quarter when they needed it, Colt McCoy made it happen. And what's encouraging for me is I think that we can all agree that as nerve-wracking as Daniel Jones is, he has more
of a skill set,
talent, and skill than Colt McCoy. And so, I think, there's reason to be optimistic that the offense will take another step with Daniel Jones now that they've figured out some of these things, including my favorite formation in the history of Giants football, Shane Lemieux at fullback and Eli Penny at tailback. Bring it. Give me that 10 times a game.
It's hard to judge because it's a backup quarterback, so I'm not going to sit here and throw stones. But, it's still – they scored 17 points. They rushed for 573 yards, and – and obviously, I'm exaggerating. They ran all over them. The offensive line was dominant, this, and that. They scored 17 points on one of the worst defenses in football. Now, again, I know it's Colt McCoy, but the offense there's still just something missing. I said Jones's last game, they had 10 points in the third quarter against the banged-up Bengals when he left that game. And that's with everybody, but Saquon or whatever. But there's still – that's why I still get, I hate bringing up the offseason already, but, people we'll just get one wide receiver and then the rest of it, we got to focus on defense. I'm like, we need more than that. But ultimately, I'm not going to do anything negative. It was a very good win. Everyone did what they had to do. The morale for Giants fans right now between the coaches and the players and everything in the Giants world is as good as it's been in a few years. And that's fine. I am now very interested to see what happens in the upcoming weeks, where you have, a 6-6 Kyler Murray-led Arizona team, and they're good. They're not great. They're fighting for a playoff spot. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. If we just get a little bit outclassed and it just shows and we just can't quite score on these teams and the offensive line can't push them around like they did to the Bengals or to the Seahawks, or if Giants win a game or win every other game here on out, and you're like, hey, from here out rather, and you're kind of like, all right, second half of the year, we were kind of an average NFL team, and we make it to the playoffs and see what happens. So I know I'm ranting a lot, but I had a lot on my, it was a big Sunday. It was a big Sunday.
I know. Like last week, I said, against Seattle, this is going to be the biggest test of the year for the Giants.
Well, we all said they get killed. Let's call it what it is. We all said that they were going to get destroyed. Even the ever faithful Justin was like, not this week.
I did. I said, listen, when we were talking about the way that things would pan out for the rest of the season for the Giants to make the playoffs, I said that I thought that the winnable games were Arizona, the newly flexed Browns game,
Cleveland game.
But you don't trust Baker Mayfield. 41 points in the first half, but you don't trust Baker Mayfield. Though.
No, I don't trust Baker Mayfield. Listen.
Neither do you. Neither do you.
I know. I kind of just breaking balls here. I don't know. We'll see.
Here's what I know about Baker Mayfield. All right. Baker Mayfield had his best game as a pro, and he should feel very happy about that. You should feel very happy about that. But, there's a reason why,
he was the number one pick.
They were still run heavy before last week. I don't think his own team has confidence in Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now they do. They're flying pretty high. But well, let's get back to the Giants. I know I kind of brought that up as a joke, but you said, okay, so the newly flexed Browns game you had as winnable. You had everything as winnable except for Seattle. You even said they could beat the Ravens, I believe.
What I said was it depends on the health of Lamar Jackson and where they are in the season. Now, they came out and they took care of business in Dallas. Lamar Jackson looked good, coming back from COVID, which is great for him, and it's great for their team.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see,
I think officially I had it as loss against Seattle, win against Arizona, win at are they home or are they away?
No, the
Browns.
It's the Browns
in New York, right?
It's in New York?
Yeah, the Browns game is home.
I had them beating the Browns, losing to Baltimore, and winning
Dallas.
Yeah, and before this past week, I think I said the most likely scenario was 5-11. And on Twitter, I'm down as saying they're going to win anywhere from 4 to 4, 5, maybe 4, probably 5, maybe 6 is what I was at. I didn't really know the order or who would be what because, look, I mean, if this weekend proved anything, it's anything can happen because the two biggest upsets of the entire year statistically happened back-to-back days with Washington and the Giants. And it's interesting now, I put up a poll on Twitter today, who's going to win the division because they both have an advantage, right? They're both 5-7 heading into week 14. The Giants' advantage is the tiebreaker, which is a huge one. But the Giants, I don't want to have to check Twitter, but the opponent record from here on out, Giants' opponent record is something like 25-23, slightly above average, whereas Washington's is something like 20-27-1. So they have a not crazy easy, but a significantly easier schedule than the Giants do. And all you got to do is if you got, forget the tiebreaker, if you could just pick up one extra win, then you're in the playoffs. And it's funny because just a couple nights ago, I'm on here telling you guys the only team I didn't think had a shot to win the division was Washington. I said it was 30-30-30-10 with the 10 being Washington. So it should be interesting.
The Redskins played well on Monday night. There's no two ways about it. They played really well.
Who?
The Redskins.
Who?
I don't know that team.
I don't know. I don't want to be associated with you right now, Justin.
The
football team?
The WFT?
Yeah. Isn't it funny? It's the football team and the football Giants, like these really generic ass team names.
All right.
WTF.
But they played well. In a lot of ways, their win mirrored our win, where they out physical the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now you could make an argument that some of that might have to do with the idea that the Redskins had 11 days rest and Pittsburgh had 5, but that's 2020 in a nutshell. You know what I mean? And you can only play the game in front of you. the way that it was meant to be played, and they outplayed the Steelers. So, you're right. I think the football team's last 4 games are the Niners, the Seahawks, the Panthers, and the Eagles. Right?
Let me try this. I'm going to give out.
That's tough, dude. They could win 2 or 3 of those games.
They could.
I'm going to give out the number. Let's see if this works. Ready?
Your personal number, right? People can send you dick pics and stuff.
Did you hear the voicemail that Marco got earlier?
No.
What was that girl's name?
Ready? Here we go. Ready? 347-946-2826.
Joe Judge, if you're listening, call in.
Joe Judge, if you're in, call in.
I can't send out a text while I'm on this, can I? To tell somebody that we're doing this.
347-946-2826. Let's see. I'm trying this out. I don't even know if it would work. I'm trying it a different way.
Tuscaloosa, you're on the air.
Jim. Oh yeah, and this is coming straight to my phone. So there's going to be no vetting, which is always a recipe for success.
This just dawned on me. You've got Kyler Murray going up against Daniel Jones. These are currently, unless last night's game changed something, the 2 highest rated PFF quarterbacks from last year's draft class. Correct. Because Jones recently took over. I hear a phone ringing. Jones recently eclipsed.
Hello. Can you hear it? Hold on 1 second.
I'm hearing it faint, like just out of your speaker or something.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, technical difficulties at the moment, I guess.
I got it.
Yes, Dean. Hello.
Can you hear it?
Can you hear me now? Old school Verizon Wireless. Can you hear me now?
I can hear it. I think the viewers might kind of barely be able to hear it.
Yeah.
But...
You guys there?
Yeah, shout. We could hear you.
Let me try to figure out a way to get him on. That's not working. All right, Dean. All right, the calls. People calling in now. I can't get one. We're trying.
We could hear it. Just put it next to, it was all right.
Yeah. Not the best.
I heard him say old school something or other.
Yeah.
What about let's talk more about this Giants defense.
It's interesting. I don't know, but I really thought from watching the game a second time that a lot of the pass rush, which was really strong, they have 5 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It wasn't just breaking through the line and getting to him. It looked like kind of coverage sacks for a couple of them at least, where I'm like, he goes back to pass. Russell Wilson goes back to pass, and he's looking around, and then the Giants would have a stunt or they would have a delay, and it would kind of come from that second wave
right.
that he would get taken down. And maybe that's the way they're playing him specifically because they know he holds the ball so long. So I'm not sure if that's going to change, and it might not change all that much against someone like Kyler Murray, who's not that different from Russell Wilson in that regard. But I have to give kudos, I think, to the secondary and to Graham because it seemed to me like a lot of the pressure was a result of them locking down the receivers.
It was a lot of scheme pressure, right?
Yeah.
So it was stunts with your linebackers, Mr. Irrelevant, Tay Crowder, coming off a stunt and getting a sack on a key third down. Leonard Williams getting pressure up the middle. But at the same time, your Carter Coughlin's 7th round pick and your Nico Lalo's undrafted free agent, maintaining their gap responsibility and, maintaining contain so that Russell Wilson had nowhere to go. It's those types of things. And it's interesting because at the beginning of the season, you heard Joe Judge, and you can't help but wonder if it's lip service because of everything that we've been through the past few years. But you heard him say that he believed that we could scheme pressure and that we could make it part of our defensive strategy,
right?
And the fact that he's able to do that now and produce at that level, I think really tells you this is a guy that puts his money where his mouth is and can do what he says he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, the deal looked really good. It really annoyed me when Metcalf caught that pass and did the stiff arm into the face of Bradbury and got up and he was like shaking himself like, I'm so strong. Meanwhile, Bradbury made the tackle right then
Right.
and there and reached for the ball. Like, I was like, why is this? If any, like, you lost, dude. You got no yak. Like,
Right.
I don't know what you're flexing about.
Well, and then you had Mark Schlereth.
Oh my God, Jamal Adams is
orgasming on television.
Oh my God, Jamal Adams. Guess who? Jamal Adams. Guess who? Jamal, like, oh, this is the best hot dog I've ever had in my life. And up here in the booth, guess who made it? Jamal Adams. Like, he was everywhere. He was Jamal Adams.
He was excited at one point that Jamal Adams outran Colt McCoy to the corner. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
oh my God. What was the phrase he kept using? Some French term he kept using?
C'est la vie.
No, it wasn't that. It was something else. It was something else, something Dumont or something. I don't know what the hell he was saying. And let me tell you, though, one thing I picked up on, and I think maybe the MVP or the most impressive thing about the game was, are you communicating with aliens, Marco, over there? It sounds like Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
People are calling in now, but I can't.
So patch them in.
If I patch him, I found a way to patch them in, but it's going to show their numbers on the screen. I don't want to expose them.
Hey, you know what? We have no disclaimers on. We have, what are you going to do? The Giants tight ends did a nice job blocking. What is it? Caden Smith. Is that his name? Caden Smith?
Yeah.
Even I have to say, Evan Engram, even though he's responsible for at least one other turnover in this game again. He had a lot of good blocks. And
I've never been so conflicted by my emotions toward a Giants player.
Don't be conflicted. He's not worth it. At the end of the day, it's not worth it.
He's so bad.
He's not worth it.
Like, here's the thing. He had a similar, I think it was against Philly. The first game against Philly, he had a similar situation where Daniel Jones threw a quick slant, hot route quick slant, and Ingram wasn't ready for it. What frustrates me about Evan Ingram is that there's no improvement on a week-to-week basis on the things that he clearly struggles at. And I know enough about the rest of the coaching staff to know that they've put him in position and they've had those conversations with him, and he just can't do it. Right. He makes me so angry. Evan,
yeah,
if you're listening, call in. I'd like to verbally berate you on stream.
He had a good blocking game, as did
can't get through at the moment.
As did Matt.
I did leave a link in the description. Everyone got it. If they do want to join in, you can join in that way. There's a link there. I see a bunch of people calling in from Miami, Connecticut, Texas. So there are people that are looking to get in. If you want, there's that link. We'll get this a little bit interactive and go from there. And the phone's going fucking crazy. All right, everyone. Back on track. Sorry about the interruptions.
Evan Engram is a triple threat. I've said it before.
My God.
He can't block. He can't catch. He can't stay on the field.
Actually, correct.
He blocked really well. He's been blocking pretty well.
Oh my God, with the phones.
You can't tell people to call in and then complain when they're calling in. That's our viewers. That's our lifeblood.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I can't take it. All these people listening to what we have to say.
I
like you, fans. I like you. Call my number. 1-800-6 and 10.
555-5785.
555-5 and 11.
So wait. As I was hearing a lot of people give Evan Engram praise for his blocking when they bring him in as a third blocker.
He blocked well
on the offensive line.
He did a good job blocking. He got nasty. I think he kind of sensed like, oh shit, like, I think he knows people are getting on him. He had the off his hands. It wasn't easy, but off his hands, and it becomes a pick. And I think he was kind of like pissed and was like, I got to do something. And so he was barreling into guys, as was Smith, another tight end. I forget 82 and 85. I get them mixed up. And I sound like an amateur.
Lolo Toyolo.
Was it the Lolo Toyota guy? Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, number 85. That's
You're
number
gonna
85.
switch your phone.
What's up?
Dean, switch your phone this way.
Yeah, number 85.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua
Switch your
Tagovailoa.
phone.
Hold up. All right, we're good.
We're good.
Turn your phone.
Turn it over.
Boom.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
We're tech savvy now.
We are tech savvy now. It's been a long time, brother. How you been?
And we're back.
Are we back in action?
We are back in action, my friend. How have you been?
Yeah, everything's breaking up, dude. I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Now
It
we're
makes
good.
you feel any
Now
better.
we're crystal.
Yeah, we got you.
So,
All right.
Dean, what do you think? What's going on with the Giants? How do you feel going on to the next game? What's going through your mind?
Depends if Jones is gonna get to go or not. To be honest, I mean, I give Colt McCoy the credit. He was the game manager. He did what he had to do to make sure that the defense could withhold the, But at the end of the day, I need to see some Danny Jones chucking that ball to Slayton. Slayton's been obsolete the past couple weeks. Nobody picked that up. All right. Once Jones comes back, now you got Tate fired up after all this, whatever you want to call his drama. All right. He's coming out balling. You got Evan Ingram starting to actually step up. And if Darius Slayton gets back his connection with Daniel Jones, man, with this defense, I'm excited, bro.
Wait, I just want to clarify. When we're talking about Golden Tate drama, we're talking about when he sicked his wife on the Giants on Instagram. He's not man enough to fight his own battles.
That's exactly
the drama we're talking about.
A grown man fights his own battles. He doesn't need his mommy like Prince Amukamara did, or Eli Apple did, or his wife like Golden Tate did. Hey, Burns got shot. He admitted to it, took the penalty, went and came back and won a Super Bowl.
This is what Golden Tate did, and I don't want to derail the show, but this is what Golden Tate did.
No, much love. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Don't get me wrong. I love Golden Tate, but at some point, bro, you got to fight your own battles.
Golden Tate was displeased with the team. He didn't want to go on his own social media, so he hopped on his wife's Instagram stories and trashed the team, and then cried about it. So, Golden Tate's as good as gone. He's dead to me.
Oh, but what's the cap hit if we cut him though? Because we're paying him high dollar right now, right?
If we cut him at the end of the season, it saves us $10 million.
Well, then that's a give me right there.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Leonard? Here's what I'm excited to hear about. Okay, everyone has Leonard Williams.
Yeah.
Is he worth a lucrative contract? I honestly, the way we have drafted defensive tackles, defensive ends lately, we could get them cheaper. But the way the chemistry between those three are just, I haven't seen that since the Tuck OC Strahan years. And with Bradbury playing like he is and Jabril, if we can keep this core lineman together, I mean, what do you think honestly is going to happen with my man? Leonard Williams.
We know what's going to happen with him. Dave Gettleman loves him. He's gonna re-sign him. He traded for him, gave him the franchise tag. He did almost every step to get him signed for a long-term deal. Now I'm worried that it's going to be a classic. A guy's playing out of his mind, on a
contract here,
get right before he gets a big contract. But is that more of like how Patrick Graham is using him? Seems to be switching between 3-4-4-3 all the time. So
I think you have to ask yourself, when you're talking about Leonard Williams, I think the conversation that you have to have is you have to say, what contract do you think is likely, right? So I would say you're probably looking at somewhere around 3 years, $18-19 million. Okay. That's a lot of money.
That's low.
But you can cut Golden Tate, save $10 million next year. You can cut Kevin Zeitler, save another 12.
Ooh, that's good.
And you can cut who was the third guy?
Solder, Ryan.
Yeah.
It was
It's taking notes.
Toiolo. If they cut Toiolo, the third tight end,
Capitalism, my man.
it's another $2 million. So between those three guys, it's a projected. If you cut them, it's a projected $24 million in cap savings. So you cut the three of them to free up money for Leonard Williams, and you ride with the All Pro.
All right, I want to get to some of the comments. Ready? Here we go. All right, Yardley. If the Giants with a super chat, thank you, buddy. If the Giants win the division, they will become the first team in NFL history 0-5 to make them win the division. Who saw that coming? Honestly,
Why not us?
Why
not us?
Hey, I won't complain.
Lucoello, this was supposed to be Odell's homecoming. It's getting cut short, my friend.
Browns have never played better.
Did he just say something about?
This is true too, man. The Browns are playing amazing, and he's totally on the bench. Hold on, Dean. Hold on, Dean. $100,000 questions. Are you ready to accept the fact that Dave Gettleman is going to survive another year? Oh my God!
If he survives another year, because he deserves to survive. I don't care if he's around for 20 years if it means that we're going to be good, and that's why he's around. I was looking the other day. They showed the statistic that the Steelers, I kind of looked it up myself, they haven't had a losing season since like 2004 or something, or 3. And I'm just like, could you imagine being that franchise and just like always being there, man? Like you got to give so much credit to something like that. That's that a bad year is 8-8. So if Gettleman survives, I hope, whatever. I hope the Giants have a GM, I don't care who it is, that survives for a long time, because that means good things are happening.
I mean, if he gets him in the playoffs, he gets him in the playoffs.
As long as we have Joe Judge for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it amazing? We're
this
5
team
and
will be fine.
We're 5 and 7. And we're 5 and 7. We're 5 and 7, and we're already saying
I know.
If this coach is the one we want for 10 years. We're a losing record team. We're pretty bad, but this coach for 10 years. It's kind of funny.
What do you think about this coach, Thomas Ryan? Ready? Graham, please don't leave us. I don't think he's there yet, but
Let's not forget that last year Patrick Graham was the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, the last ranked defense in the entire NFL. So I know he's doing really well this year.
Will. That Miami defense had no one on it.
And they played like it.
Complete.
He didn't do anything great. They were the worst defense in football. So
they were playing pretty good. They were flying around the team. They played
pretty good. They were the last ranked defense in the NFL. What are you talking about?
Did you what? They were playing hard. People playing
hard. Who cares? What do you want? Charity.
I am going to send you a link, and I will change your mind.
You're going to send me a link. Are they going to be hustling and having a lot of sweat?
Yes, because I went back to look when we hired him, and I was like, my God, they were playing good. These guys were like basically practice squad players.
Right.
Yeah, and they were playing like a good, Miami team. Of course, they're going to take them. A good New England team. Of course, that team's going to take advantage of them. And the Buffalo Bills, they were good, but they were in the games. They were playing well.
Okay, Marco. All I'm trying to say
out right now. So who cares about Miami?
No. The reason I brought it
is balling. Listen,
the reason that you're misunderstanding me.
No, I know. I get what you're saying.
No, you don't.
Miami was terrible. No, I don't.
I'm just talking about him for head coaching. Usually it's guys that.
Sorry.
Usually it's guys. Someone said, "Is he gone next year?" Usually coordinators that dominate for 2-3 years. I'm saying for him, this is his first good year where he actually has a good squad. That's the only reason I brought up Miami. That's the only reason I brought up Miami.
As a defensive coordinator, I gotta say.
Yeah, no, I love. That's why everyone misunderstood me. I love Patrick Graham. But I'm just saying he's got to string him in a row.
What he's doing with Jabril, that he's utilizing him everywhere, and I love the way that he's going from 4-3 to 3-4 because it's rotating the D line, and he's very good. And the thing I like the most about Judge is, have you noticed how many penalties we were used to seeing in a game for the New York Football Giants. I don't know if this is. I haven't looked into any stats. It's been a bit, but I don't see a lot of penalties, and when we do get them, they're kind of ticky tack.
Yeah, I looked it up today. Actually, we're about average. We're about average in that, and I think Arizona is the most penalized team. I think in football.
Arizona?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
let's hope that continues for another week.
Yeah.
Let's get those flags going.
100 hidden yards. Let's go.
All right, so now totally went off rails. Now you have me going back in my mind about
because I was talking Miami. I was just saying for Graham, I think he'll stick around because he's got to string a couple of these kind of years together first. So I'm trying to say.
Okay, who do you think would get a head coaching position first? Patrick Graham, or do you think Garrett would get a position?
Graham.
By far.
I think it's Graham.
For many reasons.
Yeah.
I think it's Graham. And I think
I'm just throwing that out there because, I would rather keep Graham myself, but
listen.
I want to let the NFL know that Jason Garrett was a quality head coach for a lot of years.
I'll say this.
I think he should get a second shot.
Giants backup quarterback.
I think he's there to groom a bunch of QBs. So
the clapper, Jason Garrett.
Clap on.
Yeah. I don't think he gets a head coaching job, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not the offensive coordinator next year.
I don't think they would fire him.
I don't think
it will be
the only reason they would keep him probably is because that would be like 3 years, 3 offensive coordinators for Jones, right?
That's the reason to keep him.
Trust me, I don't feel like he's the best fit for the Giants and Jones. I understand why they took him, but it would be like an ultimate power move if they did get rid of him.
And he was tied to Joe Judge's bitch, Mark Colombo. Mark, if you're listening, you're a punk ass bitch.
Oh man.
He could call in if he wants to, I think.
Yeah, call in. Let's talk about it.
Colombo, come on, brother.
This is nothing. I don't want to really derail this, but I just have to say this. I think it's hysterical that the Jets have the last ranked scoring offense, the last ranked yards per game when it comes to offense, the last ranked offensive efficiency, and they fire their defensive coordinator.
Oh my God! I saw a video where they were like, for Greg Williams, they're like, "What's your favorite play to call?" And he said, cover zero. He's like, I love to call. We call it all the time. Send them.
Yeah. So I don't want to bring up the Jets, but I just thought that was really funny.
Oh my God! Look at that.
Because we're talking about coordinators, but we got any more viewer?
Don't bring the Jets up while Jimmy's on the line.
We do share a house like we always have, so respect to them until they win another ring before we do.
I'm ready. Mike A, here we go. Let's see. Graham is fantastic. Really confused Wilson this past week. I would agree with you. I hope that continues for next week.
Yeah, it's been good. I don't think there's anyone who's getting more from the pieces that he has. I mean, we've got 3 or 4 studs and a lot of who, I don't even know who these guys are, but that's where you got to say.
I mean, 3 of the 4 linebackers last week were Nico Lalos, undrafted free agent, Tay Crowder, Mr. Irrelevant, and Carter Coughlin, 7th round draft choice.
Yeah.
So, and those guys are talented. Like, let me be the first to tell you, I see things in each of those guys' games that I think will continue to translate in the league. But this coaching staff is getting things out of these guys by being multiple and by showing offenses a lot of disguises and making the job easier for the players on defense.
Right.
And again, prior to the season, everybody and their mother told us the secondary is going to be a liability. The secondary is going to be a liability. The secondary is going to be a liability. And it's the strength of the defense.
Well, it's not the strength of the defense. I mean, their rush defense is top 5. Their passing defense is like 23rd or something. So it is the weakest part of the defense statistically.
That's you're getting all
Realistic.
you're getting all what's the word? The advanced metrics. I'm just telling you.
It's just yards given up.
I'm just telling you that prior to 3 weeks ago, there were a lot of people that talk about the NFL a lot that were saying Russell Wilson and Seattle's offense was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they couldn't save one drive in the fourth quarter. They couldn't really move the ball on us. So
And that drive was so annoying. The Giants having trouble getting on and off the field, and Judge called a good timeout, ended up not mattering. But yeah, no, the D's been looking real good. I think last 3 or 4 games they've been actually like a top 5 defense in the NFL, which is pretty cool, man. Giants defense. It's been a while, but it's always good. It's kind of part of the DNA. You know what I'm saying?
it's how we prefer to win football games, with the defense.
And let me say this: after watching the game again, as good as Gallman was, and I'd hate to take anything away from him on his biggest rushing day of his career, but oh man, there were a couple of runs where he just completely disregarded where the blockers were. Whenever the blockers would head toward the outside, and he just cut it up. And on one of them, you could actually see Nick Gates turn around and just put his hands up in the air. It's like, what are you doing? Like, he had potential touchdown, like 60-yard runs or 80, like just huge, no one there. And he just, instead of following the blockers, he just cuts it right back up the middle. But, I can't say too much about the guy. Like I said, I don't want to say anything negative about the Giants yet that I had their biggest win of the year.
These are tough guys. They're, what I like about the way that Gallman and Morris played on Sunday was that, they fight for yards. They never give up. The legs are always turning and all those sorts of things. But to your point, Will, I watch this team play and I just think, like, man, if Saquon was in there or somebody with Saquon's athletic ability, these 20, 30-yard runs would be to the house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, if they can get Saquon back and coach him up a little bit, get him to hit the holes and get north-south a little bit quicker than maybe he has in the past, the sky's the limit, I think.
There were a couple of runs where Slayton just didn't block, and there was the long run on the left sideline, the longest play of the game, I think, maybe for either team, with Gallman, where, of course, guess who? Jamal Adams, to quote Schlereth, made the tackle. And you see Slayton on the backside, and he just didn't come close to even jogging towards Jamal Adams. Then all of a sudden he realizes that he might make the tackle, so Slayton tries to sprint after him, and it's too late. There were like 3 plays where Slayton's guy, because Slayton wasn't blocking that well, where his guy made the tackle, and it could have been a bigger gain for Gallman. And that's something I love about Shepard and some of the Giants, is that they tend to do a really good job blocking. So that was kind of disappointing to me. But, yeah, I think they're playing as good as they can play right now, given the talent that they have. So what more can you ask for at that point?
Sunday.
4 in a row?
Sunday's going to come down to, how healthy Daniel Jones is. I firmly believe that. Because I also believe, that Kyler Murray is not healthy.
Right,
He's playing through injury, but I fully believe that if you watch him play, he's a little gun shy to run, and that's fine with me. I don't want him to run on Sunday. But
is there a documented injury that he's going, or are you just going by what you think?
If you
see,
so he hasn't been on any official
injury list
report from Arizona, right. But if you hop on the old Twitter machine, as they say, there's speculation that he has a shoulder issue, and he might be afraid to put that thing out there.
I remember seeing that Jones and Murray have the highest passer ratings of any quarterbacks in the NFL for throws over 20 yards.
Interesting.
So two guys who can sling it downfield. And like I said, the two, unless Lamar Jackson did some really great things last night, I have to look, but the two highest PFF rated quarterbacks from that draft class. We'll see what Jones does. I hate when my guy goes and you kind of know he's hurt. Like you feel it the whole game. You feel icky every time he goes to run. You're like, is it bothering him? Is it getting worse? Like I just want my guy to be freaking healthy or not play. I hate that in between.
That's the difference with Jones now is that, he is unlike the GOAT Eli Manning. If Eli could stand back there in the pocket, that was all you really had to worry about. Jones's game requires a level of athleticism, and no matter how much he practices this week, I doubt they're really going to let him test that hamstring the way he's going to test it on Sunday with live action, and so we're going to have to wait and see. I firmly believe. I think he'll gut it out, and I think he'll play, but it's always difficult when the legs are such a big part of what they do to really know, that they can count on themselves to come back from an injury like that.
All right. So a few of the people that were trying to call in, they left voicemail. So let's go through this. Ready?
Are you playing the voicemails
Hey,
live?
big fan of the show. Just want to know if Giants. Hey, big fan of the show. Just want to know if Giants will be the first team to go 0-5 and make the playoffs. I think that's a good look. Just want to see if that's the correct answer. If Giants go 0-5. I mean, if they were 0-5 team, if they make the playoffs, they'll be the first 0-5 team to make the playoffs.
Yeah. So I think
Who was that? Do we have a name on that caller?
Didn't leave a name.
All right, we'll call him 0-5. 0-5. Thanks for calling in. Do you know the stat? Do either of you guys know the stat? Is it real?
They would be the first team. They would be the first 0-5 team to make the playoffs.
All right. So there's that. I mean, that's something we've always wanted to be, right, guys?
They are the third 0-5 team in history to win 4 games in a row at any point during the season.
Here we go with the stats. Here's another one. Ready?
Yeah, great win.
Question.
New York City Giants. That defense is amazing. Colt McCoy did his job.
Mm-hmm.
But I really seriously think that this defense is coming together and it's becoming a top 5 defense. They have 3 levels of great football. The line, defensive line rather, the linebackers and the safeties and the corners are all performing at a high level. Judge deserves recognition for Coach of the Year. And if they focus a little bit more on technique and fire, he'll be definitely disciplined enough to make a push and a serious one.
That's interesting. Judge, Coach of the Year. I don't think he would get how many. He might have to get him to 7 wins, but that's actually an interesting point. Let's bring up linebacker, by the way.
I looked up his odds for Coach of the Year today, by the way.
They're probably fairly low at this point, right?
If you're a gambler, Joe Judge Coach of the Year odds today were 8-1.
That's pretty good, though.
I was just gonna say that. I thought it was gonna be much worse.
Well, who would be favorite though?
Has to be
Tomlin. Tomlin was ahead of him, and
what about from Cleveland? Right, they're like legit.
Stefanski was ahead of him.
He brought up 3. Thanks for the call and the message. He brought up 3 levels of the D, and I guess the good thing about the Giants' defense, guys, is if you said right now who are the 3 studs in the Giants, you go Leonard Williams, Blake Martinez, and Bradbury, and there's one for each layer of the defense, right? There's one on the D line, there's one right in the middle at your linebacking core, and there's one in the secondary. And Jabril Peppers is playing well, and some other guys. But let's hope Blake Martinez's back is okay, because he's arguably the MVP of the team right now, along with some of those other guys we just talked about. And I don't know if we heard any kind of early reports on him. I think he's expected to play.
He's expected as of right now, but I don't think he practiced today in full. I think he got the limited designation.
I was shocked that he didn't come back into the game because middle linebackers, I mean, those guys are all like juiced up and
tough as nails, right?
Juiced up and crazy and like, hey, I know my head's facing the wrong way, but just point me to the field. I'm a former linebacker, so I feel a little pride saying that. But yeah, no, the defense is coming together, man. That's it really is, and Joe Judge is doing a really good job. So you heard it here. We want it for the next 10 years, right, guys?
Listen. I love Joe Judge.
There you go.
I've loved Joe Judge since day one. You can go to bleedbigblue.com archives. The day he was hired, I was on record
saying
on the site,
full boom love.
He was gonna restore Giants pride.
And he might break a little theory that I've had, or at least go contrary to it, or at least be the exception, that the Patriots tree never does anything elsewhere other than New England because it was just a Brady Belichick thing. And that whenever the coaches or the players, whether it's a Nate Solder or a Josh McDaniels or a Patricia, any of these guys go elsewhere, people go, oh, they're a Patriot. They're coming from the Patriots. It's going to be great. And I feel like they just never pan out to do anything because it's just a Brady Belichick operation. Mm-hmm. But Judge could be the first one, that I could think of to kind of break that mold.
You know why Joe Judge is different from all those other coaches?
Because he talks really fast in short sentences.
You're onto something. More specifically, it's that, he comes from that Bill Belichick school, the Nick Saban school, tough, do your job, know your role, those sorts of things. But he has more personality than those guys, right? I think you see him connecting to his players in maybe a way that Bill Belichick and Nick Saban do not, right? It's a small thing, but you look at him in a press conference early last week. He's wearing the Ole Miss bucket hat,
right,
talking to the media because he lost a bet with Evan Ingram. Not that it's the biggest thing in the world, but when you have a young team and you're trying to get them to buy in, any connection that you can make that shows them that you're there for them and makes them want to run through a wall for you is going to make the team better. And I think that's the difference between Joe Judge and the rest of those Bill Belichick acolytes that try to take all the emotion out of it and just play football.
Dean's getting changed in the back. You see Dean in the background? He's getting changed.
No, I don't see.
Dean, what is this, a costume change?
Wardrobe change, second half, baby.
Oh.
This is to represent the second half of the season, gentlemen, where the defense takes over, Daniel Jones comes into his own, and the Giants gallantly take off with the NFC East Championship. And we make the playoffs, gentlemen. But not only do we make the playoffs, that would make us host a playoff game. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. An empty stadium playoff game.
Would there be fans allowed?
At 0-5 to hosting a playoff game, I'm going to tell you what. If that happens, listen, anybody out there right now listening, if you want to put your number, contact Marco. I'm documenting this right now. I have a signed Saquon Barkley jersey. All right? Authenticated, everything. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh.
He definitely hit the off as he was turning his phone. You know what? I don't think he has the jersey. I think that was all a tease, and he was planning on shutting his phone. He's going to go sign a jersey right now.
I have a whole lot. How do you spell Bart now?
Oh my God! Wait, but I mean that's great. But I just thought of something here because I don't know if we're gonna get a word in once he comes back. Oh, he's got all that energy, and that's coming from me who talks a lot. Nah, I love him. A couple of quick things. Judge to me has a very college coach approach. He talks about. You ever notice when he talks about I want people to be proud of this, the people of this city, to be proud of this team and the community. And he talks about these young men and learning about life and football and this and that. And I think that only works if you have a team with the makeup of the Giants who are young, who are not a lot of ego guys. There's not a lot of, huge superstars. And I think that's why they buy in. I think, if you were to look at, if your team, if he was coaching the Browns right now, for instance, right, guys, do you really think the same kind of way about going about it the same way would be as effective. I feel like there's so many egos on certain teams that it might clash with his sort of college coach style. But I think because of the personality of the Giants, they're buying into it and they're wide-eyed about it. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Right now it does. And then I think then the goal or the hope is that over time, people will see that, his brand of football makes sense and that
Correct. If the results are there, exactly. If the results are there, you can do whatever you want.
Right, exactly. But in terms of why it's working today, I think you're spot on.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to say, and this is really just because I'm thinking too deep about this, so feel free to shoot this down. But I used to think Jones might have a clutch gene, then I wasn't sure. And lately I've been very unsure about it because I feel like in the early fourth quarter where the game is still in the balance or whatever, he tends to not be able to convert first downs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see Colt McCoy do it and the Giants secure a win. And he had in the middle of the fourth quarter, like third and long or third and manageable. And he's just doing enough to get things done, a couple of big third downs. And it got me thinking again about Jones's clutch factor. Maybe is there something to it where another quarterback, Colt McCoy, who hasn't played in forever, just comes out and it's 3rd and 7 and he just rolls out. He makes a nice little pass to Ingram. He doesn't, get overly anything about it and they move the chains. And I'm I feel like Jones doesn't necessarily do that. And I don't want to make a whole he's not clutch this early in his career. And I know he had that first game against Tampa Bay, but I don't know. Seeing McCoy kind of have a couple of nice little fourth quarter, third down conversions with ease, maybe maybe Jones should be able to do this a little more often. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
the show within the show is hysterical. No, do you see?
Dude, I'm on my phone. Every time you guys private chat, I can't even see you guys because it takes up my whole screen. I don't see anybody changing. I say I have another theory for you, Will. Bill never grooms anybody from his coaching tree, but decided to groom before sending him to the franchise Bill will always have love for. That's interesting that Belichick never really imparts his wisdom on anybody, but he just likes the Giants, so he was willing to do it with Judge. But I don't know. Does that mean he literally sat down with Judge beforehand and coached him through all of his secrets and revealed it all to him? I'm not sure that that's kind of realistic, but it's nice to think about.
So back to your point on Jones's clutch factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is what I'll say. And I relate to you in the sense that I think we have PTSD with Daniel Jones, right? Mm-hmm. We've seen him throw that interception that you absolutely can't throw more times than we can count, right?
Yeah.
Now, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is exactly, but I did not have the fear with Colt McCoy that he would throw that game-breaking interception that I always have with Daniel Jones.
But right? I also, in my heart, I also felt that they're not going to let Colt, given the opportunities that they would Jones.
That's fair. Justin, you weren't done with your point, right? Because I had another one to make.
Well, so the flip side of that point is that, and Marco kind of hit on it, again, they ran the ball for 3 quarters on Sunday so that Colt McCoy could throw 3 play-action passes in the fourth quarter that were successful. They're not gonna limit or hamstring, pun intended, Daniel Jones in that way.
But maybe that's the formula. I mean, it works.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, but also, you look at, your point about Daniel Jones's clutch gene, does it exist? He had chances, specifically in the Tampa Bay game. If he connects any of those deep balls in that game, there's potential that we win the game by 14 points. And he continuously could not find a way to hit that deep ball. So, is he a little shell-shocked? Maybe at some point in the season, but you hope that maybe the week off, seeing the team rally around Colt McCoy and knowing that he's a little bit, more skilled will inspire him to maybe play a little bit smoother brand of football. He's eliminated the turnovers over the last 3 weeks. So, maybe he puts it all together.
I mean, go ahead, Marco.
I have something. Now is when we want to see if he's clutch. Games where we were 0-4, 0-5, and he's just trying to get something together is not necessarily being clutch. Now the games mean something. They built it to where now you have to show that you're clutch.
Yeah, this is kind of like his first chance to show what he can really do when it matters.
I mean, think about it this way. When we're saying he's clutch, who are we comparing him to for the Giants?
Eli.
We're comparing him to Eli. And Eli was clutch when it counted. Eli only won playoff games the 2 Super Bowl years when he needed to be clutch and it needed to happen. That's when he played his best football.
Well,
I hope Daniel Jones has that same gene.
That's what I was going to say, Justin, before when I said if you were done with your point, because I looked up Eli's numbers early in his career and even adjusted for how the game has changed, where obviously quarterbacks now throw for so many more yards and records get broken every single day. Even by those standards, Daniel Jones has played a lot better in his first however many games this has been than Eli did. Eli's first season and a half, 2 seasons were some of the worst football that I think any starting quarterback's ever played statistically. He had games where he was like 3 for 26 and they had to put Kurt Warner back in, okay? But the crazy thing is, even though his numbers were really bad, he was like a 500 quarterback by this point in his career. Like, he was already winning games. He would already do the thing where he was terrible and then throw off his back foot and hit somebody in the back of the end zone to tie the game and send it to overtime and they win. So that was
that
kind of
Broncos
the difference,
game.
That
was
I remember the Broncos game.
That was his second year. The in Denver.
I remember the Broncos game. And so it'll be interesting, though. Hey, guys, if Colt McCoy goes out and plays this week and they beat Arizona and then Jones comes back and they lose on national television to the Browns, is there a quarterback controversy for the rest of this season with the playoffs on the line?
Oh, no, there's not.
I'll say this. You guys will enjoy this. I'm a member of a Giants fan page on Facebook.
Excuse me? What? Hold on.
That is not ours, so I won't say them by name. But I'm a member of that Facebook community.
You can say the name. Go ahead.
I don't even know what it is, honestly.
Oh,
but
magically forgets. But go on.
I'm a member of that community simply for the comedy, and somebody posted on it this week, and it had 500 comments underneath it. Colt McCoy should get another start. Like, even if Daniel Jones is healthy, Colt McCoy should get another start. And I immediately was so thankful that I'm part of this community where at least we know football a little bit.
I think he should get another start, just not for the Giants. Maybe the Jets, maybe the Jaguars.
Correct.
Hold on. Dean is throwing jerseys at me. He's trying to give away his riches. I don't even know what he's trying to do.
He's gonna turn on his video. He's gonna be wearing a Giants.
Dean, you better have upped it to a Lawrence Taylor by this point.
No Lawrence Taylor. No, I wish the Mitchell and Ness is my next jersey I'm getting.
He's wearing a different hat again.
Hey, and I voted. But listen, so
I voted for Dave Gettleman.
I voted for myself, to be honest with you. But all right, we got to come up with. Here's very simple. I have a official signed Saquon Barkley certified jersey here. All right, I am willing to give this away to somebody. We got to make up a little poll that if we take like the top percentage of people, if the Giants make the playoffs and host the playoff game, whatever kind of contest we have, the winner, I will mail them this jersey personally.
You should have them pick the winner and the score of the playoff game the Giants are in.
Yeah, but I kind of want, if the Giants make the playoffs, I kind of want to give it away anyway because.
Oh, do it! I'm not trying to help out. You run your contest.
How about we ponder this, Marco? You get with me on this. We'll figure some out. Everybody out there, if you're watching, follow me at Dean Myers, DeanMaiers. You can find me on Bleedbigblue page. I'm willing to give this jersey away. We just got to find out how to do it.
Dean's a great Twitter follow. Shameless plug.
Yeah,
Great Twitter
I
follow.
kind of veer off Giants a little bit here and there, so I lose followers here and there, but nothing but classic Giants knowledge in my book.
Marco, is my name is blacked out on my screen. Is my name showing up for you?
It's like at Will
It
Press.
is?
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay. Dean, so that's very generous of you, man. Look at that.
You know what? I love the Giants so much that I just love to spread the love, brother. And if we make the playoffs, I'll feel even better. So this could be the winner. Anybody who, whatever contest we come up with,
is there
JSE certification, the JSA certification with authenticity and evidence.
This is breaking news. That's awesome, Dean.
Is there?
Look, you gotta. If anybody's out there listening, tweet this, retweet this. Somebody's gonna win this beautiful jersey. Compliments of Bleedbigblue.
Wait, Dean, is there a story behind it? Did you meet him, or did you buy this, or what happened?
Right behind it, there's a lovely young lady that came into my life, saw me going down a wrong path, and got it for me, and it kind of put me on the right path once again, as we are here today. So I'd like to, as like kind of like, you know, like a little like energy stones, you know, pass it on, show some other Giants fan some good luck, some good cheer, and I'm sure there's a lot of Barkley fans out there. So
I love that, Dean. That's awesome.
Good for you, Dean.
It's all about the love between Big Blue fans. So
now,
Trying to think of what I could give away.
Here's what's interesting. We want to talk about the playoffs.
If the Giants win the Super Bowl this year,
if the Giants win the Super Bowl,
I will be giving away this
Conan O'Brien wig.
This one of a kind Will Presty bobblehead doll.
Yes,
it's everything you ever thought it would be.
You gotta
This
sign
is
it.
Yeah.
Official. I will sign it, and this goes to the person if the Giants win. And Dean, you know what? I'm just going to give this to you if the Giants win the Super Bowl. Okay, I'll trade you for the Saquon straight up.
Thank you, bro. Save it, bro. I love it.
Oh man, that's awesome,
Hey,
guys.
but I'm serious. Everybody, write that down. I'm not joking. That is my.
You know what's great?
My word. That will be somebody's at the end of the year if we make the playoffs. But we got to figure out what kind of thing we got to do first.
I was in my head. I was thinking about putting. You know, Nick is also a veteran, and he calls into the show a lot. You're a vet. You should go back and forth to do a little whatever you want to do. I think that would be might be something funny.
Do like some fantasy football, like for the last couple weeks of the season, or I don't know,
something.
I'm not full of great ideas at the moment, so
You got a good one with this. I like it.
Yeah.
You guys got college educations. I just have Connecticut public school.
There you go.
Hey, even Saquon left school a year early, so nobody's, come on.
Yeah, but he knows how to carry those Oikos, just dropping one though. So he dropped one.
What about this, guys?
Justin, are you going to give something away?
No. Well, listen. I'll look in my house for some memorabilia this week.
No, he's coming up with the contest.
Now, I don't want to feel bad that you guys want to have to feel like you need to give
Dean, don't worry. I'm not giving anything away.
I just
don't worry.
love Big Blue. I love Big Blue. I'm trying to spread the love to all Big Blue Nation.
I just want everybody to know that
Emil said he's trying to get that jersey.
Well, Emil, we're gonna keep you in mind. We'll put you on the list for whatever raffle or contest. How about we have a Giants trivia contest?
Oh.
But how would we limit the number of people that are allowed to enter? I can't just,
That's have to do it on. I'm sure we could do it on Twitter.
We can figure something out. Yeah.
We do a poll and then like the top 10 advance. Like we could do like a March Madness bracket, and then the winner of the championship gets the jersey.
Marco's the brains behind the operation.
We could have somebody call in. We could have like 30 trivia questions ready to go, and someone calls in. If anybody gets 3 in a row, we give them the jersey, and then if someone a new line of questions for each person, so they can't piggyback off the last person.
You guys got to have me in the quad box for that episode.
Yeah, and there's going to be at least 3 questions pertaining to Will Presty. His career.
Are these going to be general questions or just
Giants questions?
Just
But
Giants. But I
the
think
winner
from the 70s to now.
I have all the game show music ready to go.
The winner, you need one of those skinny microphones. The winner has to, though, submit a picture of themselves with really short shorts doing a quad workout, like Saquon.
There you go.
That'd be dope. Holding the jersey. Holding the jersey.
You're killing my eardrums, Marco. God, it's loud.
You know what? They got to take a picture.
You know what?
The frame I bought is 30 pounds. So they got to take a picture of doing squats with the 30-pound jersey.
We'll get Saquon to retweet it, guys.
Am I going to host the game show?
We get
Saquon with his new Gillette razor.
Saquon is all for Big Blue, baby.
We'll get Saquon to retweet it. That sounds
And
good.
how about you, Saquon, if you're watching? You know, I could use another one now that I'm giving one away. So just
after all this talk about being inside, I just want to give it to the community. I better get one back. Saquon.
I'm gonna pay it forward, but I wanted the boomerang right
Dean,
there.
I'm just kidding with you, Dean. I'm just joking with you, buddy.
Not messing around.
I'm actually going to get going here, but this
All
has
right.
been great, guys. You guys, stick around. I'm not trying to end this thing, but thanks everybody calling in. That was cool. And guys, it was a good week. What are you going to say, right? We're all in this together.
Let's go against Arizona.
Hopefully we'll get another one going. What do you got, Justin?
Well, I just want to let you know that if the Giants win this week in Arizona, not only will they continue to be in first place in the NFC East, but they will only be one game out of the wild card spot in the NFC.
That's true. That is true point. Good point.
But what does that mean, though? That wouldn't. So
Because we
what?
can lose the division and still make the playoffs.
Okay, I'm so set on winning the division. I don't want to hear this wild card
It's
talk.
not weird how the NFC is coming into full circle.
Got you. I hear
We
you.
can still make the wild card at 5 and 7. Wow.
Got you.
The seventh.
Giants fans.
Wait, Justin,
wow.
can you just repeat it? What do you? What you're the
The
man.
Giants still have a shot at losing the division, but winning a wild card berth.
Is that what you're trying to say, Justin?
That's what he was trying to say. Yeah.
That two teams from the East could potentially make the playoffs.
100%.
Oh, because they got the expanded playoff too.
Yeah, because there's the 7 teams. The 7 team right now is Minnesota,
and
who I believe only has 6 wins.
Dean, does the jersey contest winner count if we make the playoffs as the wild card? Or do they get like a Matt Barr jersey?
They're in the playoffs.
They get Sean Landetta.
I don't care how they get in. The jersey's up.
If we get in as a
sounds
wild
good.
card, they get a Matt Dodge jersey.
By the way, no offense to
the jersey's gone.
I feel bad about saying Matt Barr. I meant Sean Landetta. No offense to Matt Barr, because I love Matt Barr. And Landetta had some good years too. So I shouldn't make fun of any Giant. So I'll just leave it at Saquon. This has been real. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.
Later, bro.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, bro.
Is Will really leaving, or is he just going to change and come back?
No, that's my thing.
Will's gonna come back in a
I gotta do the wardrobe changes, bro.
Oh man. So
that was exciting. I think our my first time back in a while.
Yeah.
And I threw up a jersey, and let's see where it goes. Let's see how many people hit me up. I bet you I get 3 new followers tonight.
Not bad. Three more than before.
3 whole new followers. So,
hey, Justin, what are you giving away, Justin? Now,
I will give away.
To be determined.
I'll have to look.
2 corn on the cobs and a filet mignon.
There you go.
Hey, I didn't mean to put you guys on blast or nothing. I just felt like
No,
I want to do something special, and
I hear you.
I feel like this could make more people want to watch this podcast, which they need to, because not only are we knowledgeable about the team, we have love for the team, we got love for the fans, and that's all it's about, man. Am I right or am I wrong?
You are correct.
You're right.
All right, I'm going to start winding this down, Dino.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for jumping on.
My good man.
All right, I'll be talking to you later.
Yes.
Justin, me and you, my friend, last 2 survivors.
Let's close it out. Close it out strong.
Would you guys be open to taking OBJ back Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go with the. Let's talk about the OBJ.
Sounds like OBJ wants the Giants to be playing better. Should we play what he said or no? Don't even. We'll just recap it.
Do we have it?
We can probably find it.
Do you? Let me ask you this. I'll just ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe what he said in terms of that he never wanted to win a championship more than for the Giants organization?
Organization? Do I believe that?
That's the word he used, organization.
Yeah, I believe it actually.
He also he called out Pat Shurmur pretty loudly.
Was it Pat Shurmur? Or is he calling out like a wide receiver or someone else like that?
I mean, I took it to be Pat Shurmur. I don't think he said Pat Shurmur by name, but
He was Pat Shurmur.
I don't know. I mean, listen.
Higgins Haven 3D. Marco, what happened to James and Ned? Do they ever call anymore? Yes, I would talk to James frequently. He's probably going to come on one of these days. Ned is MIA.
James, I'll say this for the listeners.
I actually thought he was going to come on today, but I guess not.
We've I hadn't talked to James in about 6 months.
Yeah.
James and I took a hiatus from each other. We recently reconnected once the Giants started winning, coincidentally.
Two lovers.
I'll say this. James is still pretty angry.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason we called him Captain Negative. Come on, let's be serious.
Let me say this to the Giants fans.
There's a reason why I love him, even though he mainly drives everyone crazy, but there's a reason why.
With everything that's going on and the great week that we had as Giants fans, right? We had a great week.
Correct.
They played the best game they played in 3 years.
Correct.
Right? They won. They're the toast of the town. For the first time in a long time, like, the arrow is pointing upward. And Jimmy's still talking about pick 68 for Leonard Williams.
This is true.
Pick 68. So he's still angry, but I have to be honest with you, Marco, and you'll appreciate this. It took every bit of self-control that I had not to hop onto our Twitter conversation after Seattle won and flip the double bird to Jimmy.
You're holding back. Look at you.
Holding back. I'm being mature.
Mending fences.
Mending fences.
Mending fences? Is that the saying?
Yeah.
That is the saying, right?
Works for me.
I don't know if it is. All right, hold on. Would you guys be back? Open back to OBJ. He sounds like he wants. All right, so back to OBJ. First of all, I really doubt that there's going to be any sort of rekindling.
Here's the thing about OBJ, honestly. Okay. Number one, I can clearly state now that we won the OBJ trade. Just with Dex and Peppers.
Correct.
Right? The second thing that you have to look at.
Who did the other picks wind up being? BJ Hill, was it?
O'Shane.
O'Shane, yeah.
Okay. Second thing about OBJ. I mean, listen, I love his talent. When he makes a big play, he had that huge game. I think it was against the Cowboys earlier this year before he got hurt. I watched that game live. I loved watching him make big plays. There's just something about him as a showman. With all that said, the Browns are playing better without him.
This is true.
They are.
Very true.
And this would be the second team that's playing better without him coming off an ACL injury. I just don't know if it's worth the headache.
I totally agree. I think he is dynamic. I was a big fan while he was in the Giants. I really didn't want to see them traded, but I understood it. You could go back to the old shows and basically said the same thing. I don't know. But then we have a need there. I always did want to see, full-fledged Odell, Barkley, a good old line, and a good QB go at it, because that could have been something exciting. But wasn't meant to be, my friends.
It was not meant to be.
All right, Justin. It is 11:36. I am winding this down. Everyone, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button.
Should we
Share.
do real quick predictions for Sunday's game?
How could we forget? Yeah, let me think about it. You go first.
All right. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. And again, I rewatched the game today.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw was a team in the Giants that was tougher than Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
They played more fundamental, and they out-physicaled them.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting into, the latter part of the season. It's getting colder.
Yeah.
The tougher teams are going to start winning. And I think the Giants are tougher than Arizona. I think Kyler's a little dinged up. And I think Daniel Jones comes back with maybe a little something to prove. I like the Giants. I like them 27-17.
27-17.
Bradbury shuts down New Hopkins, and they use a similar strategy to what they used against Russ Wilson. The difference is Kyler turns the ball over a little bit more than Russ, and the Giants win pretty handedly.
Let's see. We got some people. Let's see. Jose Velez, 28-10 Giants. All right. Let's see. Dennis Williams, 24-17 win. I think it's going to be around that too. All right. I don't know how much Kyler Murray is going to be running around. They're going to try to probably force him either one way or keep him in the pocket. They know they already have him scouted out which way he's. If he's rolling right or if he's rolling left, which is he more accurate. They probably all have that all scouted out, all statted out right now.
They had that scouted out weeks ago.
Plus, if Leonard Williams keeps doing what he's doing, and he's a big dude, if he starts crushing on quarterbacks, I don't know how eager he's going to be to break the pocket. Even though I think Kyler's pretty good at actually avoiding taking big hits. But it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think the Giants, they're going to pull it out. I would say 24-17 Giants.
I like it. Last thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Leonard Williams beat that triple team for a sack?
Yes.
It was like a triple team. It was their right tackle. By the way, huge shout out to Chad Wheeler there in the fourth quarter for playing like dog shit.
Thanks, Chad.
One's a Giant, always a Giant. Thanks, Chad.
Thanks for doing, Chad.
Yeah. But then split Mike Iupati and Chris Carson came over to Chip. This man could not be contained. Leonard Williams, he wants that money.
I don't blame anyone for playing for the money. I think that's a good motivator.
Yeah.
I just worry how we fit other players into the equation. But
yeah,
if you're
I hear you.
I go back to my original saying: if you're a good GM, you figure out a way to assemble the team.
At the end of the day, I really feel like the contract for Leonard Williams is 3 years, 19.
Yeah, I think I can actually see him taking less for a huge upfront.
Well, and here's the other thing about Leonard Williams. And I know, like, it's easy to point this out while they're on a 4-game winning streak, but it sure looks to me like Leonard Williams has bought into this whole culture and that he's having fun.
Yeah.
And, guys are going to remember how they felt on this run, and maybe they'll stay. Maybe they want to be part of the solution. You know what I mean?
I hear you. All right, Justin. That's it for me, my friend. Peace out.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, talk to you later, Justin. All right, everyone. That's it. done for today. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. I see the people jumping still here with me. And that's it. Peace out. Hold on, still with me. All right, bros. One last thing. Let me put the end screen and close it out that way.